Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and I have my part 3. Finally, it's here, whenever that is, whether it's the evening of the 20th or the morning of the 21st, I don't know when it will come out. It depends on how long it takes to upload and all that kind of stuff, and then how many babies make sounds and all that stuff. So I might be pausing this video a few times if my babies are making noise or I have to change some diapers or something like that. I've been fortunate enough lately to not have to worry about that too much, so it's worked out. Just been a godsend basically when I'm doing these videos, but sometimes they have to make noises or whatever, and so we'll just adjust. So man, this is, I want to say something up front as well. So this is number 3, part 3. Please watch part 1, which is the foundation. If you haven't watched the other videos, please watch iPad Go 2 and Georgia Guidestones Completely Solved part 1 and part 2 before you watch this. Those are the foundations to this video and the next one. So please watch those first, and then man, I have so much to cover here. So let's get to it. So these are the Georgia Guidestones, as I've talked about in my previous video, part 2. So again, watch the other one, part 2 before. So, but also they're off Highway 77. Literally, these things were built off Highway 77, which G is the 7th letter of the alphabet. So Georgia Guidestones, GG, is built off Highway 77. It is insane. So, and I've mentioned the G's lately, the 77s. Like Gilbert Gottfried, GG said, get off the Golden Gate GG Bridge, 7777. And the Gilroy Garlic Festival shootings, the Gilroy Garlic is GG, which is 77. I mean, there's all kinds around. Things I haven't even mentioned. So it's just very crazy, this time frame and what's going on. And as I've mentioned before, the 77s, the 88s, and the 811s and the 911s are showing up more and more, and even the 11s by themselves. So we'll talk about that more. So this is where I'm cracking this code, because it's in all over in the Guidestones. This date of 8/27, or the 239th day of the year, and in other ways as well. So this is the height of the stones, the main 4 stones, 19.26 feet, which equals 1 plus 9 is 10, so you take off the 0 because that doesn't count in their numerology. So it's 126, which is the same as the 126th day, which means there's 239 days left of the year. So that's the day, 239. Plus 126 is the birthday of Archie, the British royal baby, and that equates to Obama, the Antichrist. In many ways I've shared before. So it's just very crazy. So it's right there in the height, first of all. The second thing, the opening date of the Guidestones was March 22nd, 1980. Now there's so much here. In fact, many people have pointed out in articles and things of March 22nd. That was super obvious, okay? So that's 322 Skull and Bones, like everybody knows. But my thing is, I'm saying 322 Skull and Bones is really 223 backwards, because they don't show things forward, especially when they're hiding things. It's usually backwards, or it's upside down, or most of the time it's upside down and backwards, a lot of things that they're hiding, but in this case backwards. And so Skull and Bones 322 is really backwards, which is 223, the 223rd day of the year, which is 8/11, and this is, in this case, on the Julian calendar. It's 8/11, like I mentioned in my previous videos, like my first one on this series. Okay, so people have said that. That's obvious. Now you take that, okay, and you break it down into 223. 2 plus 2 plus 3 is 7, okay, and then you take, so we have the 223 by itself, and now you take the whole date and take 2 plus 2 plus 3 is 7, and then take 1980. 1 plus 9 plus 8 is 18, and then you break those down to 7 plus 1, and then 8 is 8 plus 8, and then we have the 88. Okay, so then you take the 223 plus, so the obvious date that's in March 22nd that everybody got, and then you take the full date and add it to this, which It's just the way they're doing it. I understand how they do these things. 223 plus 8, or as the 16 is the 239th day of the year, which is August 27th. Okay, now the second thing is those coordinates of where it's actually located. Okay, the first one is 34 degrees, 13 feet, 55 inches north. Okay, so that breaks down to 3 plus 4 plus 1 is 8. Then 3 plus 5 is 13. And then N is the 14th letter of the alphabet. And then you simply bring down the 8 and add the 13 to the 14, and it's 827 again. This just keeps going and going and going, like the Energizer Bunny. Keeps going. Okay, you get the point. Okay, now let's go to the bottom one here. Okay, 8 plus 82 is obviously, I've shared this many times, sometimes it's 28 or 82, but 2 breaks down to 1 plus 1. Again, these are the math things that they do. So that's 811, and then 5 plus 3 plus 4 is 12, and then W is the 23rd letter of the alphabet, right? And babies are making noises over here. And that's cool. So very simply, then you break this down. Oh, the other thing I want to mention also is right here, 53. You see the 53 down here, and the 4, that's 8-4. So that's Barack Obama's birthday, and which is also 8/11 on the Julian calendar. So that is another meaning. There's just so much going on here. I just can't even get into all of it. But see here, now let's just keep going here. And then you break that down to 811-8. 8118. So 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, 3 plus 5 is 8. So we got 811 or 118, however you want to look at it, which again is 827 on the Gregorian, but 811 on the Julian calendar, because it's off by 16 days like my previous videos. If you haven't watched them, watch them. Okay, so 827 is 811 or 11-8 is what that basically is saying. And just the coordinates is saying that. That's what it's saying. And just the coordinates. And then the opening date shows that as well. It's all over here. Then we have 6 granite slabs weighing 237,746 pounds. Okay, this is crazy. So also in kilograms we have 8 and then 8-4. Oh man, there's so much here. Can't even get to everything. So then we have that total pounds divided by 2,000, which is a ton, equals 118.873 tons, which is 118, or it's also 1.81. You could look at it backwards. I'm sorry, no, just break down the 118, and that's 10, and then take the 0 away, 1, and then 8 plus 7 plus 3. Yeah, I'm sorry, 8, and then the 7 plus 3 is 1, because it's a 10, you take the 0 away. Anyway, that's how that works. Then over here, you break 2 plus 3 plus 7 is 12, 7 plus 4 plus 6 is 17, 1 plus 7 is 8. Okay, so this is not only when you round up 118.873 is 11.9, which is 911, and then that one you just turn the 1 and the 8 around, and that's 8. Well, again, they put things backwards, and they decide what they're going to put backwards, forwards, upside down, whatever. And then over here, this breaks down to just turn the 12 backwards, and that's 21.8 or 218. Where's that from? Where's 218 from? That was from the presidential alert, the so-called Trump alert, which is really a FEMA alert to track everybody when an emergency goes down, so they can track everybody and find the people that are threats and get rid of them and everything like that. So 218 is really 8/2 backwards, because a 1, like I've said many times, 1 could be a 1 or a slash. So it's 8/2 backwards, which is 8/ and then the 2 breaks down into 1 plus 1, or 1 and 1. Okay, also 8/2, of course, or 218 is 812 backwards, right? And then 8 plus 1 is 9, and then 2 breaks down into 1-1. They're fascinated. They're fascinated by 9/11 and 8/11 because they're the two attacks. I mentioned it in my previous video, my first part 1 here, how they relate to each other. 8/11, 9/11, because that's 8/11 is actually the next 9/11, and all this stuff. In fact, what I want to mention as well is that's why 11/11 is so important, because we have the 11 and the 11. Then it goes from attack to attack, and that's why all this stuff on 11/11, like World War I and all these things on 11/11 at 11 a.m., it's about an attack. That's when World War I finished, and then I think World War II started or something like that. Forget what it was at the top of my head right now, but something about World War II as well. And check this out. This is the presidential alert, right? It's supposed to be by Trump, the president at the time, and still is a president right now. For now, not much longer. And look, we have 11/9 or 9/11, and he's the one that supposedly did the presidential alert for 2/18. Okay, right? And that's really 9/11, like I'm showing you, 8/11 and 9/11. And there's a commercial for Serta where these sheep, and it shows 11/9, which is 9/11 backwards. Also, he was elected on 11/9, November 9th of 2017. He was elected. In fact, the election was actually on November 8th, but it went so late because he was going against Hillary, and it just went into after midnight the next day, which was 11/9. So, and plus Trump is associated with 9/11 because when it first got attacked, he was interviewed over the phone. It was a big deal. He's been shown coordinated with 9/11 in so many ways. It's just, he is attached to 9/11, just like he's attached to 8/11. And there's one example, the presidential alert. It's really crazy. Yeah, absolutely. So the presidential alert, for example, slid to October 3rd. So Wednesday, October 3rd, 2018 to August 27th is nothing other than 329 days, or day 239. Just take the 32 out of 329 and turn it backwards. You get 23, 239. Wow, there's another association to 8/11 or 8/27. And then we have, like I mentioned in my first video, January 21st was the blood moon. Okay, January 21st was a blood moon, which is substantial, to August 27th, which is, I believe, the attack day, like I said, which is 218 days. So there again, we have 218, which again, backwards is 8/11, because 2 breaks down into 1/1, and 1 is a slash. Okay, 8/11, bam. Now I want to talk about 360 degrees. Okay, so when I'm looking at Google Earth, and I want to be talking about some stuff, some things I've unlocked with Google, on Google Earth about this Guidestones. We're talking about 360 degrees, okay? So we're going from here, and we're going from 0, and we're going right and going around, okay, clockwise, right? Okay, so basically, I drew a line from Stonehenge. This is the American Stonehenge. From the Guidestones, from the bottom here, from down here, okay, up. Okay, from bottom up through the stone. So basically, this is just here for looks, but it's not real coordinates. The thing is actually here. The picture of it's right here. Okay, so but I'll use this for example. I drew it from here to there, through these 2 stones, from the bottom to the top. So if you go from the top at 0, go all the way around to here, it's 322 degrees. I could not believe it when I saw this. I was just messing with it, and it is so crazy. And then when you go across the diagonals the other way, so again, you go from bottom down here up. So 0 is right here, and you just go to the right, and that's 32.2 degrees, which is 322 again. Again, backwards, both of those are 223, which is 8/11. Now, there's a possibility that this angle is really 33 degrees, which is the Illuminati 33, but it seemed to fit 32.2 degrees better than 33, but maybe it could be looked at as both, or if it's just 33, that's fine with me. Okay, it just reinforces that they did it, and this is all by design. Okay, then you go. So remember, I did this one here from bottom to top, and then I did the same thing from top to bottom, because it's different, because we're talking about going from 0 and going to the right clockwise. Okay, so I'm going from top to bottom, so that's from 0 here down to here. That's exactly 142 degrees. Well, why is that important? Immediately, knowing the days of the year and everything like I do, and I feel like I've unlocked some secrets that they've been hiding for a while that I haven't heard from anybody, that anybody's cracked, and I've cracked this. So the balance so this is crazy. So from 360 to 365, so 360 is degrees, 365 is days, but the balance from 360 degrees is there's the 218 again. there's the 218 again, which is 8/11 or 8/2 backwards in a sense, okay? And that's in degrees. But if you take 142 and do it and basically subtract it from 365 days, you get 223 again, which is 811. So they're both 811. One's backwards, one's forwards, one's degrees, one's days of the year. I mean, this is insane. I hope you understand the complexity of this and how this is completely designed. So just these angles right here are showing, they're showing the, just the angles are showing the day, okay? 811 or 239 or whatever. Now, I mean, this was stunning when I saw this. Could not believe it. And then this unlocks so much more because I understood their game that they're playing with these degrees and year and days in a year. Okay, so there it is right there from kind of a bird's eye view. By the way, those are blood stains from a sacrifice, one of the first sacrifice that happened. Then there was a second one that was far more bloody, like I mentioned in my second part 2, which was just before this one, which you need to watch part 1 and part 2 again, please. I'm not saying to watch it again, I'm just saying again, watch it first before you watch this. Okay, now, this is crazy. I measured all the angles from the stones that are, you know, vertical, to this capstone on top, and the angles, and I measured all the angles, and most of them were like, okay, no, I don't get anything from this. Maybe there's something to it. But when I started finding this one and this other one, I could not believe it. So there's this one. This is the acute angle of the red where it says south. This is the south-facing side. Okay, and it helps to see it as the red angle is the acute angle. Okay, and then that is 126. Well, what are we talking about earlier? 126 was the day that Archie, the royal baby, was born, and it points to the opposite of it in the 365. So are we going to find that? Yes, we found that. I found that. So if you measure this angle on the exact, so the mirror side, so look, this side and then the mirror side, so if you put a mirror in the middle, or for example, this side of a mirror in the middle, they're mirrored of each other. So that's why they relate to each other. One's north 2 and one's south. Okay? So when you look, so we got 239 as far as the obtuse angle, the blue over here, and then we got this other one. So now let's look at the 360 degrees again. Okay, the little diagram I made, and then there's a 126 angle, which is roughly like that. Okay, and that's pointing to the south, and then we have the north angle, which is basically right in here. You know, it's going right in here, going like this. Yeah, that's right. It's an obtuse angle right here. And then this is the south angle right here, the acute angle, okay? And when you put those together, you get a discrepancy right here. It's right here, discrepancy right here, okay? And what is that? That's plus 5 degrees. So that 360 plus 5 degrees is 365 degrees, or 365 days. To find a different way to explain it, it's right there. Okay, which is 827, because 239 is what we're talking about. The 200, because we're talking about days, because it's pointing to days, because it's plus 5 degrees added to 360, which is 365 degrees, which is really pointing to 365 days. And we're talking about 239 is the day, which is 827. And I put it in purple because that's Barack Obama, the Antichrist's birthday, and he loves purple, and it's ultraviolet, which is the highest vibration of light, and he's supposed to be, you know, the Lucifer incarnate and everything like that. So I've mentioned that thousands of times in my all kinds of videos. And why is Obama, when he's shown as a Jedi, for example, have a ultraviolet lightsaber? I mean, are you kidding me? Why is the Black Panther movie, for example, which equals in gematria 666, have his energy as ultraviolet color on his black suit? Because he's the Black Panther. And he's black. He's a hidden king with hidden technology that the world doesn't know anything about until he finally comes out of the portal in the Avengers Endgame. I mean, are you kidding me? Much more evidence do you need to understand that Barack Obama is the Antichrist? I mean, I've put it in so many videos. I have over 300, probably 330 some solid, amazing reasons why Barack Obama is the Antichrist. And it just keeps going. Every single video I do. And okay, so from the Georgia, now the Georgia Guidestones, it's not local. People think some local person or someone from Georgia, maybe, what's his name, Ted. I can't think of his name now. He started CNN. Ted, billionaire dude. Anyway, you know, um, they think he did it in Georgia. No, it's bigger than that. It's international. It's the Zionists, the people at the top, basically had someone lower than them put it there in the United States, in Georgia, on purpose, because it's Georgia Guidestones, and I'm gonna show you why. Because from where the Georgia Guidestones are, you draw a line. You can do this yourself on Google Earth. Okay, at the very center of the capstone, go to these landmarks. Go to the Golden Gate Bridge here, right here, and check this out. It's 3,563 kilometers, which is 3 plus 5 is 8, and 6 plus 3 is 9. 8, 9 is 8, 2, 7, because 2 plus 7 is 9. Okay, that seems a little far-fetched. Fine, well, let's just keep going. Right, 3 plus 5 is 8. This is Kilauea, where that's what's going to blow and cause this section of the Earth, of the Big Island, to fall into the ocean, fall over this section, which is over a mile deep. And this is going to fall over, this is the previous wreckage right here, it's going to fall over a mile deep, and all this displacement of land, which is all pre-scored by these fissures right here that happened last year, this whole section is going to fall off. It's going to be nuclear torpedo is going to hit right here and cause this volcano to just explode, and people are going to think it was a volcano because now it's starting to erupt and all kinds of things are going. They found water at the base of Kilauea, and they're going to say, and that's been pre-programmed, so they're going to say water got in there and exploded. That's all. I haven't shown a bunch of that stuff because I'm really on this tangent right now. This thing is going to fall into the ocean, cause a massive tsunami, going to destroy most of Hawaii, go across the Pacific, and this is showing the day. 3 plus 5 is 8, and then backwards, and then 2, 7 right here, 827, 827, 827. I've got more. And then this right here, over here is New York. This is under the seafloor off of the coast of New York. This is Babylon Canyon. Babylon Canyon? I mean, we're Babylon. I mean, read Jeremiah 51. It gets destroyed by a tsunami, basically. That's what the Bible says. We're Mystery Babylon. That's what the Lord told me years ago. He said at some point, Barack Obama's the Antichrist, and he said, the United States is Mystery Babylon. Now look at this right here. You have this. This is 2 plus 6 is 8, and then 1, 1 is 811 to Babylon Canyon. And why is Babylon Canyon important? Not just called Babylon, which is substantial, but they're going to take a torpedo and hit it right there at the base, and it's going to funnel a huge amount of pressure through this, kind of like through a nozzle, and it's going to be directed right at New York. That's why New York is on many things in movies. And the $100 bill, if you fold it a few times, look it up. $100 bill, Jonathan Kleck. He, you know, I don't agree with certain things he's said, but some things I think he's gifted with. And one of the things is seeing these destruction things and showing them on the money, like 9/11 is shown on the $20 bill, and different things. It's crazy. The $100 bill shows water going over the top of buildings in New York, and I've shown many predictive programming stuff about New York tsunamis. So that's 8/11. Are you kidding me? And then look, even the Space Needle, which, you know, there's a lot of right now, even today, there's a lot of tremors going on there. And where the Space Needle is, and where I used to live there, where the Space Needle is and where the Puget Sound is and everything, that's a big basin of a massive, huge fault they just found like 20 years ago. Something like that. It's a massive, huge fault. When that goes, it's going to be insane. And I'm telling you, these tsunamis, this massive displacement of water that hits both coasts, it's going to cause all these massive faults to go off. And right here, this is the Space Needle right here. And this, we're talking measuring from the Georgia Guidestone center to these things, and they all equal 811 somehow. It's crazy. So there you go. 3 plus 5 is 8, and then 9 plus 2 is 811, or 827. There it is. 811, 811. 827, 827. I mean, what more evidence do you need? I got more. Okay, here's another one. This one is 2, 8. Okay, which of course 2 could be 11, 1 and 1. Or backwards, it could be, so this is 2 plus 1 plus 5 is 8, or 2 plus 5 plus 1 is 8. So it's 811 forwards or backwards. And that's the Oroville Dam. And I've talked about how in disrepair on purpose the Oroville Dam is, and how it will go at some point. It could be days before the actual day, but it looks like it's showing 811. So we could have many things go off on 811. It's crazy. And then we have the Hoover Dam. And now Hoover Dam is not showing 811 per se, but it's showing exactly 1,800 miles. And I thought that was crazy. Exactly 1,800 miles? There's something with that. And maybe there's another measurement I didn't see. Maybe it's maybe I could have checked in feet or something. Who knows? But that would be hard to tell, because where would you go on the dam? At 1,800 miles, basically it's any part in the dam you can touch. But I just showed the middle of it. Same with the Oroville Dam. But I know Oroville's going to go. There's so much predictive programming on it. There was stuff last year, the year before that. There was so many things in the history of it. Predictive programming, I've done a lot of research on that. I've just been looking at things that can cause floods and things, and it's off the charts. Oroville Dam, it's going to go. Now I don't know when it's going to go, but it looks like it says 8/11, so that's probably on the Julian calendar. So this might be when it's going to go. So these are some possible predictions here of these things being destroyed on these days, which is either 8/27 on the Gregorian or 8/11 on the Julian, which is the same exact day. Okay, this stuff just keeps going and going, people. I can't share every single thing either. I'm sharing the main things. I don't have time. I have to do things. I have a but I'm trying to help everybody to see this stuff and be warned. Be warned. Come to Jesus. Have your come to Jesus moment right now. If you haven't, or you've been away from Him, He wants you to come close to Him and know Him. He will do anything for you. Everything for you. He died for you, for crying out loud. And if you don't know Him, open up your heart to Him. And if you don't right now, once these things happen, you'll know it. He revealed this stuff to me. He's guiding me through this stuff from the very beginning. And it'll be evidence when this stuff happens that He's real. Okay? Because He showed this to you before it happened. Okay. Now, I'm going to basically stop this video at what I'm explaining right here at this. Because these are this is the cube. Okay? And then I'm going to do a video right after this, that's connected to this one here, of the cube. I'm going to do a demonstration of the cube. Now I kind of set it up, I teed it up in part 2, so if you haven't watched that, you need to watch that. Please watch 1 and 2, parts 1 and 2 before this. Or you won't understand it all. Okay, so this cube right here, so you can either look at it, like I mentioned in the previous video, you can look at it as these are the two parts, two sides, or two sections of the cube, or these two are, or these end ones are, these two, whatever. They're not all three because they just show different angles. But those are the numbers. There's 4 numbers around the sides, and then these letters are the top and bottom. Okay, so the video that's on the previous video, part 2, kind of tees it up. And then I'm going to do a video right now demonstrating the cube and how I deciphered the date on it. Okay, so I'm going to do that next. And here we go. So let's go to the video. Okay, so before I do the cube, I would just want to thank my brother Jeff, who's been invaluable to helping me with this. Without you, brother, I wouldn't have been able to solve this. Thank you for all your hard work and working with me on this. So I want to give you kudos here first. So here we go. Okay, this is the cube that I made to demo the cube that was removed from the Guidestones and then destroyed. Okay, so but from that video that was on the end of part 2 that you should watch if you haven't already, they actually moved this thing around, and so you're able to see everything. And I showed the diagram before I went into this little section of video here, so you can see what the numbers are and the letters are. But so this is how it was, the 2014 sitting in the little notch there. Okay, and then so that means this is the top. So they show the top, the MM right here. Now I'm going to show you how I deciphered this here. Okay, so because this is the top and these numbers are around the sides, and then this jam is at the bottom, this is how you decipher this. So I made this very clear for you to understand. So the top, you start with the top because you always start top down, and then we have MM, which is M is the 13th letter of the alphabet, and then you have 13 and 13. 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 3 is 8. And so I have the actual number in red here. So the first thing is 8 on the very top. Okay, I thought something fell. So 8. So now look down here, we have an 8. Okay, we're going to draw an 8. Okay, an 8. Alright. Then because it's letters, you read from left to right, so you go this way to the right. Okay, is that the right orientation? No, you turn it so it's the right orientation here. Okay, so 20 is in the numerology that they use, of course, the gematria and everything. You get rid of the 0, so 20 is actually 2. So let's go 2. Well, is 82 a date? No. So it's 8 is the month, and then we have 2 as the first part of the date. So it could be 2 or something else. So let's go to the next. Okay, so do we go left or right? Well, there's a reason why you'd go left versus right, which is L versus R, or the full word of left versus the full word of right. Gematria left is less, so you go to the left. Okay, and then we have 16, but it's not 16, it's 1 plus 6 is 7. So now we go here, 2, 7. You see where we're going with this, but let's just keep going. Okay, so there's a 7, so we obviously have an 8 and a 27. There's no 82 in the date unless it was 1982, but that doesn't matter. So we have 27, so that's a day. Now we go here, and then the next one is 8. Okay, that 8 is 8, so we go 8. Okay, but I can't write here. 8, and then we go here to 14, which is 1 plus 4 is 5. So we're going to go plus 5, and then we're back to the 20 again. So we're not going to do that. Now what's left over is the bottom, which is jam. Now jam is J is 10, A is 1, M again is 13. 10 plus 1 plus 13 is 24. 2 plus 4 is 6. So we have, now down here, we have 8 plus 5 plus 6, which is 19. There's the date right there, 8/27/19. Wow. There's the solve right there.